Have you ever looked up at the ceiling in the middle of the night and whispered, "God, why? Why does it feel like every prayer bounces back at you? Why does it seem like the light you once carried is being swallowed by shadows?" It's like walking through a valley where the air is heavy, the silence is loud, and the ground feels like it could give way at any moment. If that's where you are right now, hear me. This is not punishment. It's not anger. It's not failure. What you're going through is preparation, and in the next few minutes, we'll uncover 6 divine reasons why He's allowing this season in your life. But you can't just hear the first 1 or 2 and walk away, because the final reason is the one most chosen ones miss. And when you see it, it will change how you see both your pain and your destiny. So stay until the very end, because heaven doesn't waste moments like this. If this message found you today, it means God is trying to get something to you. And if your spirit already feels that tug, hit the like button and subscribe now. Number 1, the refining fire. If you've ever watched gold being purified, you know it's not a gentle process. The metal is placed in the hottest part of the furnace. The heat grows so intense it seems the gold could vanish, but it doesn't. The fire burns away dirt, hidden flaws, and impurities you can't see. What comes out is stronger, purer, infinitely more valuable. Right now, what you're facing feels like that furnace. The pressure has never been higher. The heat is touching places in your soul you thought were healed. People you counted on have stepped away. Doors you expected to open have slammed shut. And here's the part no one likes. God doesn't always rescue you from the fire right away. Sometimes He keeps you there until everything unfit for your destiny has been burned away. It's not cruelty, it's craftsmanship. The refiner never walks away. He's watching every moment. The second the gold reaches the right purity, He pulls it out, not earlier, not later. In ancient times, a goldsmith knew the gold was ready when he could see his reflection in it. That's what God is doing, allowing the heat until His image is clearer in you. Maybe you're asking, but why does it hurt so much? Because pain strips away pride, false identities, and what's temporary. The fire exposes what's unshakable, forces you to face what's buried, and teaches you to stand when everything says fall. A gem that's never been cut can still shine, but never with its full brilliance. Your fire is your cut. Your suffering is your polish. And here's the mystery. Fire doesn't just change the gold. It changes the goldsmith. God feels your pain deeper than you realize. Every tear in the furnace is collected and remembered. None are wasted. So here's your move in the refining fire. Stop praying only for escape. Start praying for transformation. Lord, don't just get me out. Make me who I must be when I get out. It's not the fire that destroys you, but resisting what it's meant to do. If you embrace it, you'll step out not smelling of smoke, but carrying the fragrance of heaven. But as powerful as the refining fire is, it's only the beginning, because there's another stage of suffering even harder to endure. When the fire goes out, and all you're left with is silence. Number 2, the silent test. If you've ever sat in a classroom, you know there's a moment when the teacher stops speaking. They hand you the paper, set the timer, and then silence. It's not because the teacher left or doesn't care. It's because the time for instruction has paused so you can show what you've learned. Right now, some of you are in that exact season with God. You used to feel Him everywhere. You'd open the Bible and verses seemed written just for you. You'd pray and answers would come quickly, through a song, a friend, a whisper. But lately, nothing. You've prayed, and the heavens feel like brass. You've worshipped, and your words just echo back. It's not that you've walked away. It's that the teacher has gone quiet. Hear this, silence is not absence. It's assessment. God's silence is a sacred space where your roots are tested. Anyone can believe when they feel Him. The real question is, can you believe when you don't? In the silent test, faith is no longer propped up by emotions or constant signs. It's anchored in trust. It's walking by what He already said, not what you're hearing now. Noah built the ark for years without hearing another word. Joseph sat in prison for over 2 years. clinging to a dream that seemed impossible. Even Jesus on the cross cried, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" Yet trusted the Father's plan. The silence is where champions are made. It's where faith grows muscle. When the teacher is quiet, you go back to your notes. You rehearse the promises. And here's the secret. When it feels like God stops speaking, He's actually watching closer than ever. Not to catch you failing, but to see you stand. Maybe that's where you are, showing up in the quiet, praying, reading, worshiping, wondering if it matters. It does. Every act of faith in the silence plants seeds for the next season. The enemy wants you to see silence as abandonment. Heaven sees it as graduation. The test won't last forever. There's a moment when the teacher takes the paper, looks you in the eye, and says, "Well done." Until then, keep your prayer and study routine, even when it feels dry. Speak life over yourself. Stay connected to those who lift your faith. Because the worst thing you can do in silence is stop moving. And here's what I've noticed. The silent test often comes right before a divine shift. When the quiet breaks, it can completely restructure your life. Which brings us to the next stage of suffering. Not the fire, not the silence, but the breaking of something you didn't know was holding you back. Number 3, breaking old wineskins. In ancient times, wine was stored in leather containers called wineskins. When new, they were soft, flexible, able to stretch as the wine fermented. But over time, the leather dried out, hardened, lost its elasticity. If you poured new wine into an old wineskin, it would burst. The wine would be lost. The container ruined. That's why Jesus said, "No one puts new wine into old wineskins." Right now, something in your life may feel like it's tearing. A friendship ends suddenly. A career you thought was secure collapses. A mindset that once worked now feels too small. It's painful and confusing, because part of you clings to what was familiar, predictable, safe. But here's the truth. God can't pour the new thing He's preparing into the old form you've been living in. The old mindset can't hold the new calling. The old relationships can't carry the new mission. The old version of you can't bear the weight of the destiny He's about to release. So, something has to break. And breaking rarely feels holy. It feels like loss, like failure, like the end. But a seed can't sprout until its shell breaks. Breaking releases the life inside. And sometimes God allows it because you'd never leave the old wineskin on your own. You might be praying for growth, new opportunities, deeper intimacy with Him. But you didn't expect the answer to begin with something being torn away. Here's the danger. Keep trying to patch the old wineskin, keep forcing the old to work, and you'll miss the new wine completely. New wine is worth the breaking. It means fresh anointing, new assignments, deeper intimacy with God, the kind of change that makes the pain worth it. But you can only receive it if you release what's cracking in your hands now. I know it feels like stepping off a cliff. But God doesn't break to destroy. He breaks to rebuild. So instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What new thing is God making room for?" Because on the other side of breaking is a fullness you've never tasted. But here's the warning. After the breaking comes training. Because once God gives you the new wineskin, He won't just hand you the wine and send you off. He'll prepare you to carry it, to protect it, to walk with the weight of what's coming. And that training is its own challenge. Number 4, training for the next battle. Picture a warrior preparing for a war they can't yet see. Long before the battlefield appears, they're put through drills, fighting in the rain, seeing in the dark, moving even when every muscle wants to stop. It's not glamorous, it's not public, and it's far from comfortable. Right now, some of you are in that hidden training ground. The spotlight isn't on you, your victories aren't noticed. You're doing work no one thanks you for. But here's the truth. God trains His warriors in private so they won't fall in public. David fought lions and bears in secret before facing Goliath. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before confronting Pharaoh. Even Jesus lived 30 years in obscurity before 3 years that changed the world. Training doesn't always look like training. Sometimes it's the job you never wanted, a season you wish would end, a repetitive routine that makes you wonder if your life is even moving. But in God's eyes, every hidden battle sharpens your sword for the one that matters most. Training seasons can feel harder than real battles. No adrenaline, no applause, no instant reward. Just repetition, discipline, and slow, steady strength. Maybe that's where you are, facing struggles that don't even seem spiritual. Financial pressure, family conflict, daily frustrations. But what if these are the exact weightlifting exercises God is using to prepare you for the assignment ahead? Soldiers often train with heavier armor than they'll wear in battle, so the real fight feels lighter. That's what God is doing, letting you face resistance now so the coming test feels lighter. Here's where many quit, seeing training as punishment instead of preparation, mistaking hiddenness for insignificance, delay for denial. But those who keep showing up in the field day after day are the ones God can trust with more. So instead of asking, "When will this end?" ask, "What am I building now that I'll need later?" Because a battle is coming, and you won't have time to prepare once it's here. And here's the open loop. Sometimes the battle you're being trained for isn't against the enemy you expect, which is why the next stage is so critical. Because sometimes God doesn't train you to fight, but to wait. And in that waiting, He's protecting you from something you don't even see. Number 5. Hidden protection. Some of God's greatest miracles don't look like miracles at all. They look like closed doors, delays, or unanswered prayers. Picture this: you're in a small room, walls closing in. You've been pounding on the door, begging God to open it. You don't understand why He won't let you out. What you can't see is the storm raging just outside. The kind of storm that would have destroyed you if He had said yes. God's protection isn't always about fighting off what's in front of you. Sometimes it's about keeping you hidden from what's coming toward you. And here's the hard part. Hidden protection rarely feels like protection. It feels like rejection, like being forgotten, like God is ignoring you. But if you could see the traps you've walked past without knowing, you'd thank Him for every no you've ever received. Israel had a shorter route to the Promised Land, but God didn't take them that way. Why? Because they weren't ready for the battles waiting there. The detour was protection. The delay was mercy. Maybe that's what's happening with you. The job that didn't call back, the relationship that ended, the perfect opportunity that slipped away. All were heaven's way of saying, "Not now. It's not safe yet." Trust is critical in this stage. You won't always get an explanation in real time. Sometimes you'll only understand years later, when you realize the worst day of your life was the day God saved you from disaster. Hidden protection often comes right before a major shift. And once the danger passes, God doesn't just let you out. He opens the door to a whole new path. But there's one more reason for your suffering that's deeper than all the others. One that ties every stage together: the fire, the silence, the breaking, the training, the hiding. It's the reason your story unfolded the way it has. And if you can grasp this, everything else will make sense. Number 6. Alignment with destiny. Every stage you've walked through, the refining fire, the silent test, the breaking of old wineskins, the hidden training, the unseen protection, has been leading here. Alignment. Think about a sculptor with a block of marble. From the outside, it just looks like a solid, shapeless stone. But in the sculptor's mind, he can already see the masterpiece hidden inside. Every strike of the chisel is intentional. Every blow has a purpose. And if the stone could feel, it might think the sculptor was trying to destroy it. But the sculptor isn't destroying. He's revealing. This is exactly what God has been doing with you. Every loss, every delay, every unanswered prayer has been a precise strike. Not to shatter you, but to bring out the shape of your calling. Alignment means your steps, your heart, and your gifts are all moving in the same direction as your destiny. It's the moment when what's in you finally matches what God's been preparing around you. And here's the thing. Alignment almost never feels like alignment while it's happening. It feels like chaos. It feels like uncertainty. It feels like being stretched beyond what you thought you could handle. But then, one day, doors start opening that no man can shut. Conversations happen that you didn't arrange. Opportunities find you without you chasing them. And you realize, this was what the fire was for. This was why he stayed silent. This was why he let the old wineskin break. This was why he trained you in secret and hid you from danger. Because now, you're ready. Not perfect, not without scars, but ready. And here's the part I don't want you to miss. Destiny isn't just about what you do. It's about who you become. If God gave you the assignment too early, it would crush you. If he released the blessing before the preparation, it could destroy you. But now, after all you've walked through, you can carry it. You can steward it. You can protect it. And maybe this is the confirmation you needed. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time for the purpose heaven designed for you before you ever took your first breath. The suffering wasn't wasted. It was the map. It was the compass. It was the chiseling that brought you here. And now, your destiny is no longer a distant promise. It's the next step. But here's the truth. Alignment isn't the end of the journey. It's the beginning of a greater one. Because once you step into your destiny, there will be new battles, new seasons, new assignments. Which is why what I'm about to say in the conclusion might be the most important thing you take from this whole message. You didn't find this message by accident. Heaven has been guiding you here. Every step you've taken, every tear you've cried, every why you've whispered in the dark was seen. The fire didn't destroy you. The silence didn't break you. The breaking of old wineskins didn't erase you. The training didn't exhaust you. The hidden protection didn't trap you. It was all shaping you, aligning you, preparing you. And maybe, right now you're realizing that God's love has been more present in your suffering than it ever was in your comfort. This is the language of your calling. It doesn't speak to just your present. It speaks to your destiny. You are not here to simply survive life. You are here to carry heaven's assignment into the world. And the reason the enemy has fought you so hard is because he knows what you'll become when you step fully into it. So here's what I want you to do. Don't waste this season. Let it shape you into the kind of person who can stand in your destiny without crumbling. If this word has stirred something in you, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with someone else who needs to know that their suffering has a purpose, because you never know. You might be the reason someone else doesn't give up tonight. And before you click away, if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Not just to help us stay visible here on YouTube, but because every time you come back, you'll be reminded that you are not alone in this journey. You are part of a tribe of chosen ones who are growing together, standing together, and moving toward their calling together. And here's one more thing. If you made it to the end of this message, drop this in the comments. I'm walking in my destiny. Because there's something powerful about speaking it out loud. It tells heaven you agree. It tells hell you're not backing down. The signs you've seen in this season, the heat, the quiet, the breaking, the training, the hiding, the alignment, are not random. They are God's fingerprints on your life. So as you step into what's next, remember this. You're not just surviving. You're stepping into the exact place you were always meant to be. And the next chapter, it's already waiting for you. Click on the video that's on your screen right now, because it will take you even deeper into the path God has been preparing all along.